Alright guys, how you doing today? Today's video is going to be going over some 3v3 stuff I did in my stream today, and some of my teams I think are some of my favorites and that has really good potential to either be good for defense or for offense. So before we get going today, I just want to let you guys know I don't think that there is a set in stone best team or best teams for GAC for 3v3s. If there was any considered best team, it would be the Darth and Malik trio, right? With either BSF or HK. I don't have it on my defense right now, but the team is pretty much just with Malik. You just slap in Malik here. You just toss in these guys. You kind of need them to be relicked up though. In my case, they're not, so I'm going to use them a little bit differently. But these guys with relics, still the best team for defense. So if there's really any team considered the best team for GAC and 3v3s, it is this team, okay? It just hands down is. You're either guaranteed to lose once, and you have to you have to come in and clean up with another battle, so you're gonna have to two-shot it, or you bring in your own mirror match Darth Revan team, and the only way for you to actually one-shot that is if you are faster. And if you're not faster, well then guess what? You're gonna have to two-shot it. So just a thing I want to throw out there before. There is no set in stone best teams here. These are some of my teams that I wanted to just show you what I used in my stream today and what I like so far. I mean, there's a lot of good potential here, guys. And before we even get going further, I want to give a big shout out to Clash and his server. I'm going to leave a link down below in the comments, or not the comments, the description. And what they're doing there is they have a bunch of people from the community. Anybody can do it. They have a spreadsheet, Google Docs, where you can slot in your theorycraft, and it can be something that we can just see what you guys think could be really solid, and also you can see other people's ideas there as well. So I'll leave a link to that below. Okay, so and another thing before we get going, the GS team on defense is not good. The CLS trio can just destroy that up and eats it up all day long. So we'll show you some battles there as well. Alright, so now we went over, there's not really any set in stone best teams, but there are some solid teams that are still pretty good. They're not going to be the best teams because they just lose a lot of viability, right? So I'm talking about Padme, I'm talking about GG teams, the Grievous, the Droids, maybe some Sith. The ones I still think are solid though are the CLS trio and the Triumvirate. I mean, those guys are just baked into a kit to just work with 3 people, and that's just how good they are. So now let's go over and chat about some defenses that I went for today. And here we go. DR, like I was chatting about, DR is still a good defensive team. I like it a lot. But since mine's not, relicked out of his mind, I actually went down here and I used SWGoH lead instead with Malik and Nihilus. And that's a good team. I think that's a solid team because with SWGoH you get even more defense from his leadership. And then you come back up here, and we're going to talk about Night Sisters next. Night Sisters are interesting here because there's so many different Night Sisters in the game, and they got so many different uses. Between Asajj lead and Mother Talzin lead, there is so many nice potential here to split them up very easily. And with this, what I decided to do was I actually used Talzin lead with Spirit and Daka here. And then down here, I use Asajj with GBA and Zombie. And now that you guys see those, what am I using for the other Geos? Well, I typically wouldn't even use Geos on defense because GBA lead is almost a necessity. But when I'm thinking about, my GBA and Gear 12 characters, the other G12 characters like Sion and Traya and Nihilus, those guys can easily just one-shot that. So what I want to do here is actually make it a little bit tougher. Just toss in GBA here, and that leads me to not have a solid as solid team here with the Geos, but maybe it's going to work out some way, shape or form with Dooku lead instead. I don't know, we'll have to see there. It's just kind of some theory crafting things I want to just throw out there at you guys. With the bounty hunters, pretty easy I'd say for a split. You can either use a Bosk lead with Boba Fett and Dengar, or you could use Jango lead here, but people do like using new lead with Jango, so that's also a potential thing you can use. But for me, I went with Jango, Bosk, and Nest. If my Nest was modded for offense, she wouldn't be here. She's modded for a lot of speed here, like 291 speed, I think. And with my other bounty hunters, I used a team here with Zam And I even went with a really wacky team here. Boba Fett, Karth, and Candy. Hoping to do some damage there, hopefully. We'll have to see, guys. And then, since my my nest is not modded for offense, I opted to use my Kira instead of Karth lead with Mission and Zalbar. It's a solid team still. You get some, whenever you do crit, you can get, you know, extra stats based on their role. I think for Zalbar, since he's a tank, he gets more crit avoidance, so that's really good. And then back here to the Separatists, I'm using a new lead here with Magna and Droideka. It's a solid team, I'd say. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna have to pull a really strong team, I'd say, for that. And then coming back up here, we got Grievous. We got Grievous with B1 and B2. Just annoying team, you know, nothing crazy about it. So I think that's about it. We do have First Order here. Solid First Order team with some more assists. And that's about it for defense, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go over some of my favorite offenses. So offenses, you need to have a method to your strategy. And when I'm talking about strategy, we're going over offenses that you still can maintain good offenses and have a strong defense. So my method here is called the ABC method. Always be chillin'. You always want to be chilling here because you don't want to go too overboard with either offense or defense. You want to maintain a good for both, because if you don't have a good defense, those guys are going to raffle stomp you, because it's going to be even easier to get max banners. And if you go too hard on defense, you're not going to be able to get those good banners. So what I like to do here is split it up very equally on all around the field. So what we're trying to do here is we're looking for 3 things in offenses, guys. Somebody who's very durable, a tank, you could say. Somebody who can do a lot of damage, and somebody that can heal / give TM. So in all of these, you have somebody that has that built in, okay? And if they don't have it built in, well, then there's counters like, Traya Scion that are counter towards specific teams like the GBA team and Bugs, okay? And now we're gonna go over some of my offenses. There's some, easy ones you don't have to think too much about. CLS Trio, that's my GS counter. If there's no GS, it's probably gonna be my Darth Revan counter. But like I said, you're probably gonna have to 2-shot it anyways. And then you got JKR here. It's a solid team. It can be a lot of different teams. Today I use it versus versus Traya rather. And I like that team a lot. I think it's a solid team. If you don't see a Traya and you see like a JKR instead, you can just mirror it. It should be pretty dang easy as well. And then down here, we got Padme, JK, and GS. But today we did not use GS. Instead we used Qui-Gon. We used this versus a Newt lead, right? And it worked out really well. I like this team a lot. Really, any of these GR characters, they are so interchangeable. There's so many different potential things you can use these for. And I like this about this faction a lot. There's so many different possibilities here. And then you come here to the Traya Scion versus the Bugs. Still works, guys. I'll leave you some links. Or not links, I'll leave you some videos, in between all of these teams I'm chatting about and how they're doing so far, my GAC stuff. It worked out very well. I even used Marauder here, didn't need Marauder, and it still worked dang well. And that was versus some relics, so I think it's kind of worth noting. And then we use First Order with Crew and Executioner with Watt. This was going to be my Night Sister counter, but instead we use this versus like a solid Bastila team, I think. I might be wrong there. So it's a solid team, and it worked out really well. I did mess up with my EP team. I don't want to show you any of my footage. I messed up really bad, brutally, royally, awfully messed up here, because I thought I could beat this team. I thought I could beat with this team a Traya team, and we weren't thinking there, guys. It wasn't even close. But this would be a counter to a solid team like a Night Sisters, Bounty Hunters, Karth, really any other team that's not like a meta team right now. Okay, and then we got JTR versus like the First Orders, Karth, Bounty Hunters, stuff like that. It's a solid team. It's still it's a really good team still. Not the best though. I think all these teams can get better, but there is no, like I said, there's no laid out best teams for GAC and 3v3s, and that's what I like most about this mode. So continuing here, I have a Shock T team here that didn't even get used in my GAC today, guys. It didn't get used whatsoever. And the reason why is because I think Fives is one character that you can pretty much use as a solo for these other weaker teams that you might face. If you think about it, you get more bang for your buck if you use Fives in a solo than you use him in the team like either Shock T or GS. because, like, just think about like a Grievous team, right? You want to have Echo and you want to have Rex here for the Annihilate and the stuns. And if you don't use fives there, well, then you can actually Shock T lead and you can get some more healing and some more counterattacks, which is what you want. So I think that fives could be the best solo, or one of the best for soloing in 3v3s, especially if you have relics and making him super tanky, guys. It's just really solid with the character. And then we have GK here with Barris and Ahsoka. This melts some teams. You have a durable tank that can taunt, and you have a DPS dealer with Ahsoka here. And if somebody does happen to go below 100% HP, you have Barris here to get even more heals. And with her heal on her special, she can call into assist with her special and with Ahsoka's special as well. So this, in my GAC today, it melted. It absolutely melted Kira. So, or not Kira, Nest rather. So that was pretty cool to see. And then this is another center team here with Basila rather, Ezra and Hoda. It's a solid team still. You have 2 Dispellers and you have a lot of extra HP gain and TM gain. I like the team a lot, and hopefully you guys think it is too. So, and then down here, if you guys, like I was chatting about, if you don't want to use Rex in any of the other teams, he is great still with either a Thrawn or using him with Wamba. The reason I don't have Thrawn here is because we were kind of swapping in between for my GAC rounds, or in battles rather. This is really the team here with Thrawn. But there you guys go. Some of my favorite offenses and defenses and what I'm rocking here today in my GAC. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If there is any teams that you think I'm totally, completely missing out on that you guys think are ones I should consider, let me know down below in the comments. But I think these are some really solid teams for anybody that is around my GP and Division. I'm in Division 1. Anybody around, Div 3 to Div 1, what they can potentially be using here. And like I said, the ABC method, always be chilling. You want to maintain good defenses and offenses at all times. And there you guys go. If you guys like the video, feel free to like it, share it around, and if you are new here, feel free to sub. That's it for me today. I want to just give a shout out to Clash yet again, and go check out his little template and his Google Doc stuff for his theory crafting on these teams. And also, if you guys want to, feel free to check out my streams. I do stream them every single time around the attack phase start, so feel free to check them out, guys. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all later.